Hey guys, I'm just going to do a quick video of replacing a laptop screen. Older ones are a little bit easier to replace. Newer ones are probably going to be more costly, especially if they're touchscreen, high resolution, high refresh rate. But this is the GL62 6QF that I reviewed a few years ago. It has a TN panel, and I'm going to upgrade it to an IPS panel. So TN means twisted pneumatic, just like the type of technology, but one of the downsides is the viewing angle is not very good. That's probably the biggest downside, just for like regular use. You can kind of see how the contrast changes tremendously. It almost inverts when you just kind of flip it up and down. So if you're not looking at it perfectly straight, even if you are, the top and bottom is going to be slightly glary, if that makes sense. Another thing is the actual color representation is generally going to be less accurate. The other thing is that there's generally two types of reflecting material that you'll see. One is called matte, which is this is matte, at least I'm pretty sure. It might be like somewhere in between-ish, but it's a matte screen, and you can tell, let me show you, if I shine a light, it kind of disperses. I'm using my phone, and that light disperses, kind of spreads out across, so you can't see, like within the picture itself, and you can't see the phone or the light like pinpoint. It's just like spread out. And then I'll show you the difference with the screen I got, which is a glossy reflection. But the two things you're going to need: a smaller screwdriver, Philips head, and then a flathead. So yeah, just what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the computer and shut it down. And preferably, if it's relatively easy to take out the battery, do that. Mine isn't very easy. I'd have to take out the entire bottom panel off in order to do that. So I'm not going to do that right now. So with the flathead, and this one specifically, sometimes you might have maybe like a little cover at the bottom that you're going to kind of flip down or pry up. But this, I've taken this thing off before. All I need to do is just pull away from the middle of the screen. Obviously I'm going to be as careful as I can, try not to break anything. I am using metal, preferably try to use something that's plastic and even thinner than this. So a guitar pick is useful, or there's things called spudgers, which are kind of used for this purpose, but yeah. So let me see if I can do that. So right now I'm just kind of putting in there and like turning it, so kind of pry the edges apart. I've got this middle part off, nice, and then you're generally okay. Don't pull too hard, but it is probably going to require a little bit of force. But every laptop's different. There's a cool site called iFixit, which has a bunch of teardowns on different devices. If your device isn't on there, doesn't have like a teardown for it, then you can search the device, make, model, and then add the word teardown after that. And it should be good enough to be able to get you a video in order to tear it down. Obvious ones are going to be like screen replacement and maybe a hard drive replacement. At the bottom of this, there's a little kind of like an adhesive, so just be careful not to like quickly pry it off. Make sure to gently pry it away versus just like yanking it. Again, depending on the make and model, it's going to be different. Just slowly prying it. Just an adhesive, making sure not to completely destroy the screen or the bezel. Okay. Alright. So this is just slowly prying that adhesive away from the bezel because it's connected to the a daughter board and the screen's circuit board. I don't want to tear that away from it. And just about there. Awesome. I could have sworn I had taken this apart before. Now that we've got that off, we're going to use the Phillips head to unscrew the, let's see, on this one I believe it's just these so these two up here and these two down here to kind of clip onto the little brackets. So I'm going to do that real quick. Oh yeah, I forgot that, not magnetized screwdriver. If you can get a magnetized screwdriver, so much easier. Doesn't appear that it's connected anywhere else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the flat screwdriver and slightly pry the back of this. It doesn't need much. And just kind of let this down. Awesome. Okay. So down here, there's a little clip. Let me zoom in. There's generally going to be a barcode or some type of adhesive that holds the clip in. What you're going to have to do is lift up from, peel away from the screen as to keep the barcode with the cable. So let's go ahead and do that. Just try to keep everything intact. Makes it a lot easier. Be careful near the ends because you can kind of pull up. It can loosen and then you could bend pins. Don't really want that. Okay, so now you should just be able to kind of like slide it out. I like to use two prying or pivot points. So either my thumbnails, or maybe I can use the screwdrivers if I need to, but we're trying to not to do too much of one-sided bending, so we're less likely to damage something. Awesome, there you go. And then this can just go away. Okay, so for the new screen, you can search online for, in this case, this is a MSI GL62 6QF. And so I'm going to search that and then add screen replacement or replacement screen. And the website I got the new screen at is called laptopscreens.com. I've bought several screens from them. They're pretty good. They have decent shipping times. Sometimes their shipping can be a little bit expensive, but they're generally pretty reliable, and they have free and hassle-free returns if you have a problem with your new screen, or if you just need to return it for whatever reason. So yeah, so you can either search make and model of the laptop, or on the old laptop sometimes there will be barcodes. So in this case I'd probably search for like this, like N156HG-EAL, but then you can maybe search for different barcode numbers and find compatible screens that will work with your laptop. So in this case I had to do that by actually watching a different person's video of the same laptop. But yeah, so this is the packaging that screens will generally come in. Alright, so you can totally see how much more reflective it is. It's way easier to see if we do the light test. I shine a light real quick. You can kind of, it's a lot more pinpoint. You can see my phone, you can see my face, you can see the fingerprints. That there's a little film on there, so don't have to worry too much. But in this case, you know, the screen is, you know, an N156HCE-EAA. It looks like it has the same pin layout, so that's good. It's a 15.6 inch screen, so that's what I need. Looks like the pins line up correctly, so that is good. Yes, they do. Okay, good. And yes, so everything looks good here. So now all we need to do is put it, we're just reversing the process, okay? But yeah, so now we put the screen down, and gonna zoom in again, and we're gonna push in on this pin layout connector. Okay, seems pretty good. Now all I have to do is just kind of put that down. It's not going to be as tight as it was before, but as long as it's kind of there, it should generally help protect the structure of the cable, keep it intact. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a test run. So we're just going to flip that up, and then we're just going to turn on the laptop. Okay. Awesome. I mean, obviously we know it works, so. Ooh. Yes, a lot better. Very nice. Nice. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and quickly put these screws in here so I can show you a couple things. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that on for just a minute, this sticker, this whole entire film. Okay, so first thing you'll notice is that you can pull it way down and you can still pretty much see what the color is. It's gonna change a little bit, and there is a little bit of kind of like a slight contrasty kind of around here. This is, you know, older laptop, a cheaper screen, and so, well, you know, cheap. This screen was about $80. Screens range from $30 to $150, depending on, you know, touch screen, resolution, just like I said before. So I'll try to make them, you know, how it was before, but we're gonna kind of compare, you know, left and right, you know, TN, IPS, and see the difference. Okay, so there's this, just kind of straight on, essentially, and then kind of probably its worst angle, and then, you know, here's lower down and below. So yeah, there's still a slight kind of glare, and it is also like what's in the background, like what it reflects and stuff like that. Okay, so on this old one, it has this adhesive strip. I'm actually going to try to peel it off of this and put it on here and lay it flat. So let me see if I can do that. Kind of tore some of it. Now what I'm going to do is kind of place it how it was, just to kind of hold it in place, you know? Try to keep it flat and don't fold it like I kind of did there. Don't need to worry too much. Oftentimes you'll want to maybe buy another little kit that has some adhesive in it, so we don't reuse old stuff, which you don't really want to use for multiple reasons. So again, mine's folded across, I don't know what you say or call it, but it's flipped over on a couple of spots. Try to get it as flat as you can, because every knot in this adhesive is going to push out that bottom part of that bezel. I'm trying to make sure that doesn't interfere with the screen at all. Okay, that's okay. Okay, let me go ahead and peel that off, I guess. Or at least fold this over so we can put the bezel back on. And just go reverse process. So I'm gonna kind of hook that side in the bottom right corner so I can peel off the screen and push it down until it kind of clicks into space. This plastic was adding a little bit of, or a little less glare, or more glare, excuse me. This plastic was adding more glare. Ooh, nice. One solid piece, baby. I'm actually gonna put it back on, or put on the old screen. Now that's gonna be great, but kind of protect that. I always have a backup, or you can try to sell it. All right, so now I'm gonna just kind of push this and clip it. Let me start in the top portion. Make sure that there's nothing in the way. Be a little bit careful, but you're gonna have to push down on it. You're gonna see like little waves that you can kind of see, but just be careful. Okay, good. Alright, I'm gonna support the back when I'm pushing it in. And there should be, okay, there's one right there. Okay. And close the screen, make sure it's good. Okay, everything seems like it works. Nice. But yeah, so that's how you replace the screen on a laptop. Hope you learned something. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time.